Atletico for them to drop out of the top spot. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, man, the world of football is nuts, right? I mean, all over the world, you get all of these different, you know, competitions and teams. And I actually just spent a week away from South Florida up in North Carolina. And what was great is that, I'm not watching it the entire time. Obviously, I spent some time with my friends, but whenever I pulled out my phone to watch something or pull it up to, check on what was going on, a couple times they're like, is there soccer going on all the time? Like, does it ever stop? And when I think about it, I was like, no, it never stops. It's the world's game. There are teams, competitions everywhere. And of course, if you're a football fan listening, you know this. But it's so cool to be, invested in all different kinds of things because you have so much to look forward to. Every day you can find a competition or a game that, you can be attracted to. You can, put some sort of time and effort into watching and enjoy it, and it means something. And it's a fantastic sport. It really is. With all that said, the fantastic sport did come to South Florida, and we do have Inter Miami here. And very quickly in this segment and going into the next, I'm going to be talking about this away win against Philadelphia, which blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind because if you listened to my show last Saturday, I wasn't confident. There was no way I was confident that this team was going to come out with 3 points. If they did, pat on the back, but it's not something that I don't think anybody expected. Other than actually my colleague and friend Manny Chang, who represents Vice City 1896, one of the great supporters groups here, and he works with me at 5 Reasons Sports. On our pregame show, he said 2-1, Inter Miami beat Philadelphia. I said 1-1. I thought Shabalko and Higuain would score, but he did say 2-1, predicted it perfectly, and my goodness. Figal actually got man of the match from FootMob, I'm seeing, which is crazy. But from half to half, it was a totally different game. I mean, if you would have put the first half on a cassette tape and you put the second half on a different one and you put on them both at the same time, you think you'd be watching two totally separate teams. It changed very quickly. And to go into Subaru Park and do what Inter Miami did is, well, first of all, not something anybody did in 2020, hadn't done it in 2021. And here we are with Inter Miami being the only team to score on Philadelphia thus far in the 2021 season over their 4 games. Yeah, and they scored twice, by the way. So that's a lot. And I know, I'm kind of just giving Philadelphia all the praise here, but they were the Supporters' Shield winners. Yes, they bowed out in the playoffs last year, but they kept a lot of the same guys, Shabalko being one, that striker that always finds a way to get a goal contribution in every game that he starts in. I've pointed that out, and he reminds me of Weghorst from Wolfsburg. Every time you watch Weghorst play for Wolfsburg, it's a goal and an assist, no doubt. It always is. And it seems to be the same for Shabalko, especially against Inter Miami. I think now in 4 games, or in actually 3 games played, he'll have had 4 goal contributions, goals or assists. I mean, man, that guy. But they overcame it, right? And when you look at this game, it looks pretty even on paper. Honestly, it does. The keepers didn't make many saves. Actually, Andre Blake had a fantastic save I think it was a Higuain header, fully laid out. But I'm looking at these stats here for the entire game. I mean, expected goals, which is a stat that some people love, some people hate, but 0.74 to 0.62. Philadelphia created a little bit more in the shot category. Big chances, Miami really had the only one. Passing was close. The percentage of passes completed was close. The fouls were close. Philadelphia did win a lot more corners than Miami, I will say that. But shots on target were the same. I mean, when Philadelphia were getting down into the box, whether it was in the first or second half, most of their shots were off target. 8 out of 13 shots they had were off target. 2 of them were blocked, and then 3 were only on target, and that matches Miami's 3 shots on target for the game. I can name all 3 of Miami's shots on target right now. It was the Andre Blake save and the 2 goals. So efficiency is very key. And actually, I just said it with David Dwork in Chirping the Cats Radio. Efficiency is key. And if you're going to get into the box against Nashville, you're going to have to score just like they did against Philadelphia. You got to take your chances. Also, I think Robbie Robinson had a shot off the woodwork in that game, which it was a fantastic shot, a belter, really, and hits it right off the post. I mean, let me give you a stat that shows you the first half to second half progression for Inter Miami. Expected goals in the first half, 0.06, okay? And if you don't know what expected goals are, it's just a stat that measures like the quality of a shot. It's an indication, of how many goals they would have been expected to score given the shot quality of each chance they created, if that makes sense. So with Robbie Robinson shooting one from outside the box, with a defender on him, the expected goal is not going to be that high. If it went in, obviously, yes, you outperform your expected goals, but it didn't go in, but it adds to your expected goals total. But in the first half, the number was 0.06, and that probably had to do with Robbie Robinson shot off the crossbar. In the second half, that number jumped up to 0.56. They were expected to score half a goal. So, look, it changed. Everything changed. And Miami wasn't necessarily controlling much, especially not in the first half. But they turned it around and got the goals when they needed to. And the lineup was unchanged. That's something I want to get into coming up in the next segment. But the lineup was unchanged, and that's something that we didn't see from Diego Alonso last season. I don't remember how many times we went from week to week with an unchanged starting 11, but it wasn't many. And I think with Phil Neville doing it just once, he's already closing in on the total, matching Diego Alonso for this consistent lineup thing. And when you look at it, yeah, I mean, this is probably our best 11, right? Higuain up top, Pizarro in behind, Morgan out on the wing, Robbie Robinson out on the wing, Matuidi and Gregory holding down the midfield. Then you have the back line of Jovan Jones, LGP, Figal, and Kelvin Leerdam and McCarthy in goal. I mean, I don't think there's any arguments that that's our best lineup, but the substitutions mattered in this game. And I'm going to get into that also in the next segment. The substitutions really, really mattered. And Neville did a fantastic job at organizing this game, and the way he came about it and went about it was just amazing. But we'll get into that, and I will explain what I'm talking about here. Inter Miami CF fans, if you're listening, make sure you join us every road game as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano. Join Big O and Alex Dono. Enjoy the delicious food and incredible house drafts and giveaways. Inter Miami CF fans, your new home for every road game is Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. You can follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and on Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing. I'll also be there tomorrow against Nashville, so make sure you come in for see all the guys from OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard. Take OnSide Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with a MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnSideRadio.com.
It's toast. When South Floridians need hurricane windows, there's only one crew to call, Brett and Tom at B&T Windows and Doors. They came to the crib last year, installed PGT windows and doors, and now I'm set. No more plywood, no more knuckle-busting wing nuts. PGT windows and doors will keep me and my family safe the next time a named storm comes rolling on through. Call B&T today, 954-233-0126, or bntwindowsanddoors.com. And P.S., do me a favor, tell them you heard about them on OnSideRadio.com.
BYB Extreme Bare Knuckle Fighting Series presents BYB 5. Saturday, May 15th at the fair at Tamiami Park. Week out of 5,000. See bare knuckle brawlers fight live in BYB's patented triangle ring, the Trigon. The smallest and most confrontational ring in combat sports. Early action includes slap fights as seen on YouTube. Buy your tickets now at BYBtickets.com for BYB 5. Saturday, May 15th. Doors open at 6 p.m. BYB is proudly sponsored by BMCHam.com. Your choice for gold and silver. BMCHam.com.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Inter Miami CF fans, Onside Radio is the place to guide you through the 2021 season. Go to our website at onsideradio.com and download any of our apps to listen to your favorite team. Onsideradio.com is your home for La Rosa Negra.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnsideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome back to Red Card Radio. To reach out to Austin, send a text. The text line is 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Austin Robillard.
All right, and we are back here to discuss this Inter Miami Philadelphia game and how I think it'll, or what happened in it, is going to lead into and transition into this Nashville game. But as I mentioned before we went to break, I wanted to talk about Phil Neville and how he handled this team. And I just mentioned, that he went with an unchanged starting 11, which to me was the right choice. But his first substitution didn't really have a choice. Robbie Robinson went down at the beginning, or right at the end of the first half. I don't know if it was a shot or a pass that he made, but it looked like a muscle injury. There was no real update on that other than that, it's a slight knock. He won't be out for a long time, but he is doubtful for this Nashville game, according to Neville in the press conference they had yesterday, which also I really need to talk about. But he went down, and actually, I want to talk about this Robbie Robinson situation. I was a little, obviously, when any player goes down, it sucks, and you hate to see it. But Robbie Robinson, for me, in the first, how would I do the numbers? 135 minutes of the season, 90 minutes in the first game, 45 minutes into this game. He, for me, was our best player. I loved what I was seeing from Robbie. A lot of people did doubt on the wing play of this team other than Lewis Morgan. The left side was always a problem last year. They thought it was going to be a problem going into this year. But I loved watching Robbie Robinson on the wing. I think he played the role perfectly. Neville instructed him very well. He is morphing into a true left winger, and I think he has the talent and the ability and the ball skills to do so. The inverted runs that he makes, dribbling on the ball, taking defenders on one-on-one. He does dribble with his head down a little bit, does miss a couple of passes, but it's because he's so hungry for goal. And you see him cutting in, reverse Ian Robin style from the left to the right onto his right foot, trying to get to the top of the box and score. You see that so much, and it's something I want Lewis Morgan to do. I want Lewis Morgan to stop getting so far down the wing and only look for crosses. I want Lewis Morgan to get confident, take players on one-on-one, beat them inside of the box, get a shot on goal every now and then. Robbie Robinson is playing this left wing role perfectly, in my opinion. And I want to see him up against Nashville. I don't think you should risk it, though, obviously, if he is injured. But I love this. I love this from Robbie. And it's not something I expected after last season. It was borderline horrendous, and he was outshined by Daryl Dike, who is now balling at Barnsley. But he still has potential. He is still the number 1 draft pick for a reason. He was the best player in NCAA soccer, and he was picked number 1 overall for a reason. So don't sleep on Robbie Robinson. I love what I saw from him in the first 135 minutes that he did play. Hopefully he is okay, can come back soon. Probably won't see him against Nashville, but we'll see. But the real substitutions that mattered came later on in the game, and there was one that I really want to point out. After Montero scored the goal that was, assisted by Prjalko, Miami they fell asleep inside the box, and you can't do that, right? You can't do that against MLS teams. And they fell asleep inside the box, didn't clear. It was in the box for a while. Prjalko found Montero in a good position right in front of goal, and he scored as he should have. And 8 minutes later, Neville had made a choice to sub off Rodolfo Pizarro. And a lot of people, were giving Rodolfo Pizarro a lot of stick. I mean, he wasn't having a good game. His second half against LA was not good at all after they transitioned him onto the wing. It was not good, okay? And with Pizarro coming off, Federico Higuain comes on. And this is where genuinely the game changed. Federico Higuain took control of Inter Miami. And I want to look at his numbers. But just quickly later, Lewis Morgan ended up winning a free kick in a dangerous position. Federico stepped up, took it, found his brother's bald head, big beard in the box, and put it in. I mean, that's a ballsy move. To take off Pizarro in a place where you were, he was struggling, but that's your DP, right? That's a guy that you have talked about so highly in the preseason, saying that, he's your creative player. You want him on the ball. You want him to do things. And, he was getting a lot of touches, but he wasn't making passes at the right times. Since coming on for Federico Higuain in the 28 minutes he played, 19 completed passes at 86% accuracy. Obviously had the one shot on target. I mean, to say he was efficient is an understatement. Everything he did was good. A great cross. It was accurate. He had 2 really good long balls that connected, a really good key pass, 31 total touches. I mean, I can't say enough about what the substitution did for this team. It changed the dynamic of the game. And I didn't talk about who came on for Robbie Robinson, but it was Jay Chapman, who kind of didn't do much, but he was there. And then more substitutions were made after Miami scored the goal. Or right before Miami scored the goal, Sammy Khedira came on for Jovan Jones. Miami scored, and then I guess, the next substitution that happened kind of also changed the game. Other than Victor Ulloa coming on for Blaise Matuidi in the midfield, Shawcross made his MLS debut, and they took off Kelvin Leerdam. Now, when Inter Miami traded away Dylan Nealis, I was like, well, what the hell happens when Kelvin Leerdam goes out and you are playing LGP and Figal at center back? Well, Neville answered my question directly and said, you know what? We take out Leerdam, Shawcross goes in at center back, and I move Figal out to right back. And just 4 minutes later, after that substitution, Figal gets moved out to right back. Shawcross, is playing well, looks strong and big, physical, as you expect. But right back Figal, man, he gets down the wing, beats a defender, makes him slide into the next century, and that's when he gets the game-winning assist and finds Higuain, Federico Higuain, that is, in the box to beat Andre Blake in the 83rd minute to make this game 2-1, where it ultimately ended. The tactics that Phil Neville came up with from the 62nd minute and on after conceding and going down 1-0, the shift of the game with 30 minutes remaining without having a team talk in between. Like, it wasn't like Philadelphia scored at halftime, right? And so he can come up with all these new things to tell the team it was 0-0 at halftime. Whatever Phil Neville said at halftime, in his mind, it was 0-0. And just 9 minutes out of halftime, you go down 1-0. And the only thing you can do to change the game is make substitutions and change instructions quickly. And it freaking worked. And never, other than maybe Breck Shea scoring a couple goals off the bench, one I know for sure against Atlanta last year that won us the game, but Diego Alonso did not have this in his locker. I was never okay, or I never felt okay with Diego Alonso substitutions. It was either too early for the wrong players or it was way too late. And most of the time, it was way too late. Right? It was just way too late. In the way Phil Neville instructed his team and constructed this team in this game, I mean, what else can you say? To take on Philadelphia, every stat looked pretty even, and you just were more efficient. You changed the game at the right times. You took the pace of the game into your own hands and let your players work. You trusted certain players to come on. You had to take players off. That Pizarro decision for him to come off was hard. And I know it was, because it wasn't because of tired legs. Pizarro didn't look tired. He just looked bad. And I'm not saying Pizarro is a bad player. I think he's going to come around because I know how freaking talented he is. He is fantastic. I love him. But he wasn't having a good game. He wasn't making that extra pass. He was taking that extra touch instead and losing the ball in decent areas. And to make that substitution, Phil Neville's got it, man. That's what you want to see in a manager. That's the decisions he's getting paid for. The Jovan Jones, I think, substitution, he wasn't looking, I mean, he wasn't bad, just maybe saving legs. Guediri, he was trying to get involved when he came on, and I like that. But you could tell he's not up to I honestly don't think he's up to the quality of MLS at this moment. I think he'll get there, sure. I like what I see from him, but you have to remember, since, Guediri didn't come from, a USL team, right? He came from a USL League One team in Fort Lauderdale CF. And before that, Guediri came from a USL League One team, again, in Greenville Triumph. Had not played even second division of American soccer, Samir Guediri, just third. And yes, he was always one of the better players on his teams wherever he was. But this is quite the transition. And I think he's taking it very well. But he's got to figure out, I don't know. I just saw the quality lacking. And I'm not saying that Guediri's a bad player. He'll get there. But he's a good left-back substitution. I'll say that. I like him to come on with 20, 30 minutes left. He can hold it down if Jovan Jones is getting tired. Ulloa coming on from a Tweety. I didn't like Ulloa coming on against the Galaxy. He didn't look good at all to me. But I guess you had to save Matuidi at this scenario, and I understand it. I just, I can't say, I want this guy to play 90 minutes every single game. I can't say that. Because if I did, then, you don't factor in all the human elements of football. Players get tired. Things need to change. But those substitutions didn't even matter. I mean, Federico Higuain and Ryan Shawcross coming on and Figal moving out wide is what really did it. And now this team has another crazy task going into Nashville, especially with some of the announcements that they made yesterday in a press conference that I'll get into. Heat and NBA fans, catch Ira Winderman here exclusively at OnsideRadio.com with our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat reports. Catch Ira throughout the week at OnsideRadio.com. And when news breaks, basketball fans know Onside Radio is a place you get the insight that you need. That's right, it's OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard. Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with a MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnsideRadio.com.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodyAsDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moody Ass family. Dr. Moody Ass is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodyAsDental.com.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at Caneswear.com or InterMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
This Sunday, Inter Miami CF visits Nashville SC at Nissan Stadium. Join OnSideRadio.com as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Our pregame broadcast watch party starts at noon. Game time is at 1 p.m. Listen to all the games by going to our website at OnSideRadio.com and download any of our apps. Follow Inter Miami CF all year long on your home for football. OnSideRadio.com.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
WLESPN, broadcasting from a largely empty building. And we do sports.
It's just not local.
Shush, honey.
Why is the building empty?
Because whether it be budget cuts or stupid management, we've fired almost everybody.
Ooh, but we still have our job right and local.
At least the building is.
We've got your sports.
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnSideRadio.com.
Welcome back to Red Card Radio. To reach out to Austin, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Here's Austin Robillard.
All right, so I just mentioned how, it's going to be a tough game against Nashville. And why it's going to be tough, well, Inter Miami held a press conference during the week, with media, and some interesting points came out of it. Some interesting updates. Updates that would possibly leave Gonzalo Higuain, Federico Higuain, Rodolfo Pizarro, Robbie Robinson, and Julian Carranza all out. Now, Neville didn't single-handedly rule out all of these players. He just had doubts about their availability. Gonzalo and Federico Higuain, after that amazing brotherly performance against Philadelphia, unfortunately, following the game, their mother passed, and that is tough to deal with. And I send all my warmest regards to their family, my condolences. That's unfortunate, and I feel for the Higuain family. So if they were to be ruled out, obviously you cannot blame them. As for Julian Carranza, I believe he was feeling, just under the weather. Nothing to do with COVID. He tested negative, but he just was sick. Robbie Robinson had the muscle injury at the end of the first half, and I don't think that that Phil Neville wants to risk Robbie this early on in the season. You don't want him to be out for a long period of time with the form that he is in, which I just explained not too long ago. And then Rodolfo Pizarro actually was in Mexico for a very important reason. That reason was he's getting his green card, which is fantastic news because I have been wondering how in the world Inter Miami are going to free up some roster spots, international roster spots, without trading or making some kind of move within the league. And I guess this is how. And I think they also said that Figal is on the way to get his green card. I think they've lined up both of them to do that. So depending on what happens with Pizarro in Mexico, he might not be available. And this would leave for a very depleted attack. Your three possible strikers are out. Your number 10 is out. Your left winger is out. Man, what do you do, right? Well, luckily this Nashville team that we're about to take on is not the Nashville team of old. It is not a team that was making shutouts. Joe Willis is not, going to be the best keeper in MLS, or he hasn't been. He's conceded 4 times in 2 games. Cincinnati and Montreal both scored twice against Nashville. And on the other side of that, Nashville have also scored twice against both of those teams, scoring 4 goals while also conceding 4 goals. They look better offensively. Jonder Cadiz, Randall Leal, Mukhtar, they're coming together. And we saw how deadly they could be last season. But, man, oh man, you looked at Nashville as a defensive team. But now with, their scoring, it's hard to say that, they're just a defensive team. And obviously they've been conceding, so that's something. But I'm not going to say that defense is bad, right? You still are going to come up against Walker Zimmerman. Joe Willis had a fantastic year. And I don't think that we will see it, but Dylan Nealis is on Nashville. As we know, he got traded. He probably won't start. He hasn't started yet. I don't think he's gotten a minute yet, maybe 1. I don't know if he was subbed on at all. Yeah, he was. He was subbed on 90+2 against Montreal. So, I mean, he's there, but I don't know if he'll see any minutes against Miami. But Nashville have a good defense. Romney, Zimmerman, Lovitz out on the left, and then Joe Willis in goal. It's not going to be an easy defense to break down. And Dax McCarty, again, somehow is having a good year. He's just that kind of MLS player. In the midfield, you have to be good and efficient against this team. And I said it with Toast midweek on Wednesday when I joined him to talk Inter Miami and football in general. You have to take your chances. If you get down into the box, you have to take your chances. Make Joe Willis make saves, right? We didn't really make Andre Blake make saves, and we still came up with the win because the chances were that good when we did take them. But I think you're going to need a little bit more of that against Nashville. And I want to go back and see how Montreal and Cincinnati scored on Nashville because I don't exactly know off the top of my head. But I can't like when I'm looking at this Montreal game, they scored twice with expected goals of .66, right? They outperformed their expected goals by a lot. And then Cincinnati scored twice, and their expected goals in this game was actually a lot higher with 1.87. But the expected goals for Nashville have been extremely high. Against Cincinnati, their expected goals were 3.51. Yeah, they were almost expected to score 4 goals in that game against Cincinnati. And then against Montreal, their expected goals were almost 3 at 2.89. So defensively, Miami's going to have to be good. And offensively, Miami's going to have to be good. But without all of these, offensive players that we want to see on the pitch, or potentially not seeing them, how the hell do we line up? I don't know if anyone is going to play. Nobody knows who is going to play. But if all the players that I named are out, the Higuain brothers, Pizarro, Robbie, and Carranza, this is what I think is going to happen, okay? You keep the same back line. Jovan Jones, LGP, Figal, and Kelvin Leardom. Shawcross to come off the bench if you need to, right? Matuidi and Gregory in the midfield. Then up front, I think, honestly, your option has to be Jay Chapman at the number 10. Bring on the Dominican sensation, Edison Azcona on the left. I think you play Lewis Morgan at the number 9 up top, and you put Josh Penn out on the wing because he's just too left-footed. That's what I think would have to happen if all of these guys are out. Now, we don't know if Higuain's are going to play. We don't know if Pizarro is able to come back and play. I would be comfortable in ruling out Robbie Robinson and Julian Carranza, but I don't know. Neville was not fully forward with the media. So we don't know. But everybody else, I mean, that for me is how you line up. If Breck Shea is healthy, maybe you bring him on at left back, or maybe you bring Jovan Jones up forward. I don't know. But I want to see Azcona play. I think that, there was potential for George Acosta to come on and play, but I believe he was pictured with Fort Lauderdale CF just yesterday or the day before. So I don't know if he would be able to be called up that quickly. Same thing with Felipe Valencia out on the wing. Maybe he, the 16-year-old could come on and play in an MLS game. But yeah, I think that's what it would have to be. I don't know if that's what they'll do, but I don't think it's so far out of the picture if all these players are out. Morgan up top, Azcona and Penn on the wings, and Chapman in behind. Or if Acosta's able to play, I'd rather see him as a number 10, to be honest. Miami born and raised George Acosta, by the way. Yeah, so, and then, like I said, Matuidi and Gregory playing that midfield role. Maybe you just go with a standard 4-3-3 and forget the number 10 and bring on Victor Ulloa and just play for a draw? Does that sound as bad as, I don't know, man. Do you play for a draw in this game? Like, how do you go about it if you're missing your key attacking talents? Because Nashville's going to get chances. Right? Nashville's going to get chances. Whatever 2.89 plus, I don't know what the other number was, like 3.51 is, they're expected to score goals. That was news to me when Toast brought it up to me on Wednesday, that I think they have like the most shots and most shots on target here in MLS thus far. And it makes sense when you look at the XGs. I'm just wondering how Miami will be able to stop this. Defensively, I think we've been fine, honestly. It's just the little tiny mistakes. It was the tired legs against Galaxy and not getting a good clearance against Philadelphia that really led to, and obviously John McCarthy's mistakes against the Galaxy. But John McCarthy looked pretty good against Philadelphia. Let me just say, he looked commanding. That's the word I want to use, commanding. Coming out of the box, being the first to the ball at all times. I love to see that from him after a really, do I want to use shambolic as a word here, performance? Shambolic performance against LA Galaxy. That was quite the turnaround, I must say. And if John McCarthy can keep that up, I want LGP and Figal to protect him. Maybe, just maybe, Shawcross starts next to LGP and Figal plays as right back so you can have, what Figal did in 4 minutes going to right back was more than Leardom had done in the attacking front in the time he was on. So, all season. So, there's that aspect. Does Phil Neville think that Figal should be the right back? I don't think so. I don't think that you drop Leardom. I'm not advocating for that. But I'm also not advocating against the fact that Figal could be the right back on this team. And I said that in the preseason. Not a lot of people really like it, and I understand. But look what he did. Look what he did. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting, man. But this lineup will tell all about how Phil Neville wants to line this depleted Inter Miami team up. And the keys to the game are really, like I said, take your chances and limit chances. And I understand that that's very, You can that's general. You can use that again in any team, in any game. But Nashville will get their chances. They have a really good attacking trio with the midfield players too, with Mukhtar and Randall Leal, who's having a fantastic year, and Cadiz could be up there and score goals. So I really just want us to limit their attacking chances, get that XG number down on the season, and then take yours. Whether it's one chance or two, take it. Then you can sit back. I'd be fine with that. But we'll see what happens. Start your morning every day at 8 a.m. with Toasted Sports. Wow. Toast covers all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. Download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Toasted Sports, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. only at OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard. Take OnSide Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with a MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnSideRadio.com. When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
AM 1260 WLEN.
We're live and local. Honey, are we really?
Just read what they wrote.
We're the best sports station for Miami.
What kind of programming genius does it take to flip a switch and put it on an ESPN satellite? We're your home for all local sports. AM 1260 WLE. Honey, would you please bring my laxative in here?
Sure, honey.
Ain't it awful?
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnSideRadio.com.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans! Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
When you're tired of watching the sun damage your furniture or raise your electric bill, it's time to do what we did here at OnSideRadio.com studio. Call A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise. A Shade Above Window Fashions has a great selection of blackout shades to choose from. We can almost create a complete blackout for your bedroom or media room. Call them at 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashion.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin. $7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat Rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welcome back to Red Card Radio. To reach out to Austin, send a text. The text line is 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Austin Robillard.
All right, welcome back here. With all these Inter Miami, injuries or setbacks, or all this potential for players to be out, I definitely struggled coming up with the lineup that I put out on my Twitter. You should definitely follow me, by the way, at Austin Robillard. I only tweet Inter Miami stuff. Not only. I just tweet about football, mostly Inter Miami, of course. But man, I did struggle, and somebody brought up to me on Twitter about a name that I had fully forgotten was, rumored to come here to Inter Miami, and that was Mitchell Curry. Mitchell Curry is a young 21-year-old striker who on March 8th or 9th was said to be signing from Sunderland U23s to Miami. And, it was, it was kind of out of nowhere, right? And it was out of nowhere, and it kind of just got forgotten about. And I had never kept tabs on it. I didn't remember it happening. And right when I posted this lineup, somebody brought it up to me, and just coincidentally, on that same day or the day before, Mitchell Curry goes on Instagram and posted this with this a picture of him with this caption. Loved my time at Sunderland and made some great memories and met some great people. All the best to everyone at the club for the run and hope All the best to everyone at the club for the run in. Hope the club can achieve promotion. Then he said, buzzing to have signed for Inter Miami CF, Fort Lauderdale CF. Can't wait to finally be out there. Huge thanks to his agents for getting this done. So, since signing him in March, he had never stepped foot in South Florida as a Fort Lauderdale CF player, but I believe he'll be funneling up from Fort Lauderdale to Inter Miami. And it was like, well, can this guy play? I was saying, just book this guy a flight to Nashville instead of coming to South Florida and let him play then. Not actually. But he's a talented guy, and it's something that I'm actually kind of excited about and I'm invested in. In the second Premier League for the Sunderland team, the U23s, he's got 7 goals in 10 games. Right? That's pretty freaking good. A goal every 110 minutes, just about. He played 762 minutes this season for the U23s in Sunderland and scored 7 times, which is good. He definitely, and then he went up to play, I think, one single game for Sunderland in League One, but didn't really amount to anything. But still, that's quite the goal-scoring record for a striker anywhere, and I'm excited for this young lad to come and join the team at some point. It should be pretty good when he does come. So we'll see what happens with that. We're monitoring Mitchell Curry. That's the point here. We're going to monitor Mitchell Curry and what he's going to do with Fort Lauderdale and hopefully Inter Miami one day. Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m., Seamheads have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
This is the official home of Inter Miami CF.
Higuain will now take. His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnsideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So, for the finest German food and beer, get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
OnsideRadio.com knows gamers need a home. That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your Onside Radio E-Report with Kai Chen Chisholm.
Microsoft recently announced that Xbox will now allow players to play free-to-play games without Xbox Live Gold. This is a huge step for the company and the gaming console as a whole, as before PlayStation required online play, Xbox has always required online gold in order to play any sort of game online with your friends. Of course, PlayStation and Sony have already allowed free-to-play games to be played with friends online without having to purchase a subscription in order to use the platform, as have most PC games and platforms such as Steam, Epic Games, and others. It'll be interesting to see if the two gaming consoles and the two ones that dominate the market in PlayStation and Xbox do away with the subscription base entirely as more people start to move towards their built PCs.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio E-Report. The card is out. The show is on. Soccer fans. Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard is on. To reach out to Austin, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. The text line is 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Lining up for that pressure kick, here's your host, Austin Robillard, with Red Card Radio.
All right, welcome back to Red Card Radio. We're kicking off the second hour here, where I'm just going to take one out of David Dwork's book here and go not necessarily around the pond. I think that's what he calls it when he goes and talks about the entire NHL. But I'm going to take one out of his book and talk about, I guess, the entire MLS. I've been watching a bunch. I have been trying to keep up with this as much as possible and understand here what's happening. And when I look at specifically the East Division, Montreal, no team has won twice, by the way. No team in MLS besides, I believe, LA Galaxy has won twice. And that's crazy in itself. LA Galaxy is the only team to have won twice in 2 games. A lot of teams have won and tied, but I'm looking at the East standings where only 7 teams make the playoffs now, not 10 like last year. And these are currently the 7 teams in the playoffs. Montreal, who is having a fantastic year playing here at Drive Pink Stadium, which is really cool. Like I said, they play Columbus today at 3 o'clock. Montreal is in first. Atlanta is in second. The Revolution are in third. NYCFC is in fourth. Inter Miami are in 5th place. And I know it's 2 games in, but last season, Inter Miami started the year 0-5. 0-5. And now their 1 win and 1 loss gets them 5th place in the East. DC United are behind them in 6th, and Nashville are in 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playoff teams last year are currently sitting out of the playoffs in the East. Those teams being the Red Bulls, Toronto FC, Philadelphia, Columbus Crew, and Orlando City. That's insane. And I know, like I said, we're two games in. But already, Toronto do not look to be the team that they were last year. And I know they're dealing with a ton of injuries. A ton. And they also are dealing with playing in CONCACAF Champions League, right? But my goodness, like, it's just not the same. And Philadelphia don't look to be the same. They still look good, but they don't look to be the same as last season with Brendan Aronson and Mark McKenzie on the roster. Orlando Nani isn't pushing them to victory. I don't know if they're as physical as they were last year, especially without Daryl Dike being there. That goal-scoring threat is gone. Pato got injured, missed the second game, didn't score in the first. I mean, the winners of the league, for crying out loud, Columbus Crew, haven't managed to get a victory in 2 games. Now, granted, I believe they played 2 pretty tough matchups. One against Philadelphia. Or no, they've only played 1 game so far in MLS. Interesting. So they've only played 1 game so far. Didn't know that. They're actually the only team in the East to have only played 1 game. I guess that has to do with CONCACAF Champions League, but all the other teams that are in CONCACAF Champions League have played twice, haven't they? I don't know. We're making discoveries here as we're live, which is the beauty of live radio. Oh, Real Salt Lake has only played 1 match. Interesting. And they're not even in CONCACAF Champions League, so I guess they got a break. Okay. But they play Montreal here today at Drive Pink Stadium. That is something that could be a really good game. Montreal attacking really well. Yes, they're giving up some goals, but they look poised to win games. The draw against Nashville was tough, but they want to score. And Columbus has not conceded yet in MLS. In that one game, it was a 0-0 draw to Philadelphia. But the way the East is shaping up, it's going to be a totally different outlook in the playoffs than it was last year. And over in the West, I have to do this. I have to talk about Javier Chicharito Hernandez. The way he's been scoring goals, dude. What in the world? 5 goals already in 2 games. He scored a hat trick last time out. Only 2 goals against Inter Miami, so that's cool, right? Only 2 goals against Inter Miami. 3 goals then again against the Red Bulls. And this guy, I mean, he looks hungry. And he looks really happy, too. Like, he is really enjoying his football at the moment. He's enjoying his team. I mean, as a Manchester United fan, as much as I hate to say this because he did beat us, as in Inter Miami, but as a Manchester United fan, and also, I guess I shouldn't like this either because I love the U.S. men's national team and he, is an L3 player. But I am happy to see Javier Hernandez on his way to the Golden Boot, MVP maybe. I just believe he's playing fantastic football at the moment. And I'm happy for him. I think he's a good dude. I like what I see from him. Fox in the box type of player. And has elevated this Galaxy team without Pavone, by the way, who's back at Boca Juniors. I thought this Galaxy team was going to be worse than they were last year. I thought they didn't do enough in the offseason to replenish their side. Losing Pavone was huge, and they weren't even good with him, right? But losing Pavone was massive, and the way Chicharito has just, taken this team by storm and elevated their level so highly by finishing all these chances. Unheard of, man. Seattle, LAFC sitting in 2nd and 3rd. Sporting Kansas City sitting in 4th. Portland all the way down in 10th. With those 2nd, 3rd, and 4th teams, those are teams that you expect to be there. So there's a little more parity in the East than there is in the West, I guess, this far into the season. Obviously, everything's going to change again today as, there are, I don't know how many games. There's a bunch of games today that kick off, I think, at 1 o'clock. But I wanted to explore Austin FC a little bit, too. They beat Colorado, so they're already off to a better start than Inter Miami were in their expansion season. Had a tough 2-0 loss to LAFC in the first game in LA, which, by the way, MLS, Don Garber, or whoever makes the freaking schedules, what is up with you putting MLS expansion teams in LA against LAFC to start their lives in MLS? What is that? What is that for? Why? Why are we doing that? And I get it. It makes the headlines. You want LAFC to be up there because they have, good TV ratings or whatever. And then with the expansion team, everybody's hyped about it, blah, blah, blah. But that is so tough on a team. But they recovered. A 3-1 win against Colorado. They looked good. Unfortunately, Ben Sweat got injured in that game. I wish him the best. Hope he's okay. But Austin FC don't look terrible, right? Not as bad as Inter Miami did. We'll see if they could sneak into the playoffs. They don't have the luxury of, 10 teams getting in, right? And then Minnesota, by the way, 0-2 to start the year with a -5 goal differential. That's bad. From being a playoff team last year, making noise in the playoffs, Reynoso really giving Seattle a run for their money in the Western Conference Final. What's going on there? Was it bringing in Will Trapp and Juan Agudelo? Probably. And starting them? Probably. If you know those names, you are definitely an Inter Miami fan, and you know how much they weren't necessarily loved. At least in my opinion. I could not stand to watch that again. Oh, God. But yeah, I think Will Trapp has started both games for them. And Juan Agudelo started up top for Minnesota in their loss to Real Salt Lake. Didn't have a good game. Will Trapp has not had a good game yet. Those are guys that I'm very glad we got off the roster. And Inter Miami have done a really good job at this roster turnover this season. And we look to be a better side. And I think it also has to do with, Phil Neville and Chris Henderson making those decisions, how to instruct them. They've done very well. So today, here are some of the key games in MLS, ones that I'm probably going to keep my eye on. For sure, Philadelphia and NYCFC. I want to see how Philadelphia come back into MLS after a crazy 3-0 win over Atlanta in CONCACAF Champions League. That game was at 7:30. I think I'm also going to be very tuned into this Montreal-Columbus game here at Drive Pink Stadium. I might stick around. I might not. I'm obviously in the stadium now. We shall see. I am getting a little hungry. But we'll see what happens there. I don't know if I want to spend money. I don't even think they'll have concessions because Montreal doesn't have fans here. But I'm definitely interested in that game. And then I want to see how this Portland and Dallas game goes because both teams, dating back to last season, Portland was a pretty good team. You always expect them to be a pretty good team. And they just have not been there. And Dallas was pretty good last season too. They have a couple of good young MLS or young American talents on the roster. That game at 8:00. I mean, both teams need to pick it up and to beat one of the other. It'll be interesting. Portland finished in 3rd last year. FC Dallas finished in 6th, and right now, as it stands, I believe that they both are out of a playoff spot. Yeah, Portland's in 10th, Dallas is in 12th. So they need to pick up their seasons pretty quickly. But there's a lot on the docket for MLS. And even tomorrow, you have the Inter Miami game, obviously, at 1:00. And then later on, at 9:00, out west, you have the battle of the top 2 teams in the West. Seattle and LA Galaxy take on each other. And that's going to be one for TV. That's going to be a fun game. Chicharito versus the Sounders team. I mean, it writes itself, obviously. And it's definitely going to outshine this Vancouver, Colorado game at 10:00. But I am excited for Inter Miami tomorrow. I really, really, really am. And I think that they have the opportunity to get it done. It's going to be hard. They have a depleted roster. But, man, after what I saw against Philly, Phil Neville has given me the faith. Every day at Onside Radio, our hosts sit down at the round table to tackle the most important local or national sports headlines. The Roundtable is podcasted daily. Search Onside Radio on all platforms. Subscribe, rate, and review to listen to all kinds of station segments. OnsideRadio.com is the home for South Florida sports.
You're listening to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard. Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with a MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnsideRadio.com.
It's toast. When South Floridians need hurricane windows, there's only one crew to call, Brett and Tom at B&T Windows and Doors. They came to the crib last year, installed PGT windows and doors, and now I'm set. No more plywood, no more knuckle-busting wing nuts. PGT windows and doors will keep me and my family safe the next time a named storm comes rolling on through. Call B&T today, 954-233-0126, or bntwindowsanddoors.com. And P.S., do me a favor, tell them you heard about them on OnsideRadio.com.
BYB Extreme Bare Knuckle Fighting Series presents BYP 5. Saturday, May 15th at the fair at Tamiami Park. We start out 5,000. See bare knuckle brawlers fight live in BYB's patented triangle ring, the Trigon. The smallest and most confrontational ring in combat sports. Early action includes slap fights as seen on YouTube. Buy your tickets now at BYBtickets.com for BYB 5. Saturday, May 15th. Doors open at 6 p.m. BYB is proudly sponsored by BMCHam.com. Your choice for gold and silver. BMCHam.com.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Inter Miami CF fans, Onside Radio is the place to guide you through the 2021 season. Go to our website at onsideradio.com and download any of our apps to listen to your favorite team. Onsideradio.com is your home for La Rosa Negra.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnSideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome back to Red Card Radio. To reach out to Austin, send a text. The text line is 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Austin Robillard.
Onside Radio continues to grow. To make your life easy, you can now find your favorite sports station by downloading the radio.net app. Download the free app and listen to your favorite OnSideRadio.com host or catch a great Inter Miami CF game. Go to your app store, download radio.net, and search Onside Radio, the home for the South Florida sports fan. So, no more MLS, no more Inter Miami talk. We're going to move on to Europe, and there were some exciting stuff this week. We had the Champions League semifinal games finally kick off. Real Madrid versus Chelsea, PSG versus Manchester City. And first of all, an American scored, so shout out to Christian Pulisic. We love to see that. And I want to get into both games here because they were interesting games. I kind of what I expected, maybe what I expected. I thought PSG could maybe pull out the victory, but they didn't. And then the Real Madrid-Chelsea game ended 1-1. Chelsea get a very crucial away goal, which was good. And that away goal came from the man himself, Christian Pulisic, which I love, by the way, how when I'm watching the Paramount Plus or CBS broadcast, whatever I'm supposed to call it, they put Pulisic's names with accents on top of the letters and stuff like that. It's really funny. But he scored a fantastic goal against Chelsea. I am surprised that it wasn't, stopped by any other defender, and I think Pulisic was also surprised that it wasn't stopped by any defender, but nobody stepped up to him in the box. He beat Courtois. Courtois fell down trying to get the ball, gets past him, and is just standing alone with like a 5-yard radius around him. Nobody steps up to him in the box and shoots, beats Varane, who's standing next to the line, and scores. And let me just say this. I know all the credit's going to Pulisic, and it should. But for him to have made that run, splitting between the defenders, was fantastic. It was a great run, a fantastic run. For him to control it the way he did and get into the area where he did score was amazing. Pulisic deserves a lot of credit for that goal. It was a great goal. But Rudiger, to make that pass, to see that run, to hit him perfectly in stride, give Rudiger some credit too. And I know I'm full-on American and I'm rooting for my men's national team players, but Rudiger deserves some credit because I know he didn't do all the work, but to get Pulisic the ball in that area was good. And then Real Madrid answered 15 minutes later with a Benzema goal, which it was pretty nice. It was like a half scissor kick volley kind of thing. I liked it. It was a good goal. A game ended 1-1. Nothing else really happened after that. Possession was pretty even from what I remember. And Conte had a really good game as well. That is something I think to note. Conte, Jorginho really held down the midfield in this game. And I thought that Modric would have more control. That was something that I was a little not concerned by, but usually when I watch Real Madrid play, Modric has upwards of 70 to 90 passes completed, and he really, pulls the threads for this team. I'm not sure what happened, but it seemed like all of that went to, or it was split between Toni Kroos and Casemiro, and Modric wasn't controlling as much. I don't know. And I expect, like when I watch Modric play, like I said, I expect like at least 75 completed passes, maybe an assist. He's that kind of player, world class, right? But he didn't have a good game. I'm not sure what it was, but he kind of seemed just there in the midfield, just a body in the midfield, and I wasn't really, like, he didn't win anything defensively. I think he had maybe a clearance, but it wasn't, I don't know. Modric has to be better if Real Madrid want to go to London and win. That's something I will say. Now, another thing, too, about this Real Madrid team and players, Mendy did not play. I believe he's still injured. He has a calf injury. So that means Marcelo played in the left wing-back role as Zidane went for a 5 at the back, Militao, Varane, and Nacho as the center backs. Marcelo got to play a little freely as a left wing-back, and I guess that pretty much suits him, especially the latter parts of his career. Let him get forward, let him do his thing. We know how talented he is and can be. But he might end up missing the next leg. And here's why. This is pretty crazy, by the way. Marcelo was randomly selected by the Spanish government to participate in this election that's coming up, and he is going to be basically a poll watcher. Yeah, this world-class footballer has to be a poll watcher in Spain for this election coming up, and he's not going to be able to play in the biggest game of their season. This is like saying Gonzalo Higuain is getting called to jury duty and can't play against Nashville. Abel, can you wrap your mind around? They lost the appeal, by the way. Real Madrid lost the appeal to get him back for this game. At least one of them. Isn't that crazy?
It's super crazy. Super crazy.
They're having some election, and I mean,
a poll watcher, huh?
Yeah, he has to monitor a poll, a voting booth.
Definitely don't want to monitor no polls.
I'd rather be playing in a UCL semifinal, wouldn't you?
I'd rather be doing anything than monitoring a poll.
Anything, literally anything.
Don't be a poll watcher.
He's a poll watcher. On the biggest day of his season, he's a poll watcher. And I don't know what Real Madrid are going to do. If Mendy's not healthy, I don't know. Don't they throw Lucas Vazquez anywhere around there? I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be interesting, but I just thought that was quite the headline to come out, and it sucks. But also, too, the couple Pulisic stats here, this goal that he scored was pretty significant. It made him the first American to score in a Champions League semifinal. As you know, we had Tyler Adams score in the quarterfinal last year, a winner actually, to get Leipzig onto the semifinals. But it wasn't in the semis where he scored; it was in the quarters. Pulisic has scored in the semifinal. He's also, even before this, he was the youngest American to score in UCL. That goal put him to 5 goals in Champions League in his Champions League career. That's the most by any American ever. And he also has 5 assists in the Champions League, and that's the most by any American ever. So can you say Christian Pulisic is the best American footballer ever? Well, talent-wise, I would say yes. But I'm not saying that he, has done the most as a U.S. men's national team player, considering the fact that, the Donovans, the Dempseys, he's not there yet. But he's also only 22 years old. By the end of his career, I'm pretty confident in saying that I think Pulisic will be the greatest American player at that point, right? I can see it. He's definitely the most talented, I would say. The way he's been just... he's playing for Chelsea and just one of the most important players. He was the most important player last season when they had to fight for that top 4 spot, remember? I feel like they all forgot. Everyone forgot about that. And Tuchel, I don't know. But it was a good performance from Chelsea to get the goal away from home. And now they're going into London. I'm sure they're feeling pretty comfortable. I know it's only 1-1 and anything can happen. And you're going against Real Madrid in this, Zidane side who always somehow gets wins in the most important moments. But if I'm Tuchel and I have this team, I'm honestly feeling pretty comfortable going back to London. I think right now they, if I'm not mistaken, Chelsea is taking on Fulham and Anthony Robinson is starting, but I don't think that Pulisic is starting. They are going with Billy Gilmore in the midfield, Havertz, Ziyech, and Werner up front. Werner, again, by the way, man, he's got to finish chances at some point. I know he scores every now and then and he assists a lot, but, when does it become just really bad, right? When does it become awful? He's getting into such great positions. His teammates are getting him the ball in such great positions, and I'm not sure what it's going to take for him, but I'm sure, his confidence has never really been that high at Chelsea. I don't know. He's not finishing chances, and it was laughable at one point because I'm obviously not a Chelsea fan, but man, what? I don't know. We'll see. But they're taking on Fulham. Game should be kicking off right now, if I'm not mistaken. I think Chelsea will hold them off. Fulham are fighting relegation, which is not great. But Newcastle, Burnley, Southampton, Brighton, they've all kind of seemed to take the next step in order to secure themselves in the Premier League. So they look good. But I'm happy that Anthony Robinson is starting today. I want to see him play, see what he looks like in this back 4. Because he very possibly is the U.S. men's national team left back. In the next segment, we will round up the Champions League talking about this Manchester City PSG game, and then also just going around the world and seeing what's going on in the world of football, because why wouldn't you, right? Florida Panthers fans have a place to call home every Saturday morning as Cats insider David Dwork was chirping the Cats radio every Saturday at 10 a.m. Onside Radio is committed to all sports. Panthers fans can now connect every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. with David Dwork on the home for Panthers fans worldwide, OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard. Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with a MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnsideRadio.com.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodyAsDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moody Ass family. Dr. Moody Ass is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodyAsDental.com.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at Caneswear.com or InterMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
This Sunday, Inter Miami CF visits Nashville SC at Nissan Stadium. Join OnsideRadio.com as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. Our pregame broadcast watch party starts at noon. Game time is at 1 p.m. Listen to all the games by going to our website at OnsideRadio.com and download any of our apps. Follow Inter Miami CF all year long on your home for football. OnsideRadio.com.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
WLESPN, broadcasting from a largely empty building. And we do sports.
It's just not local.
Shush, honey.
Why is the building empty?
Because whether it be budget cuts or stupid management, we fired almost everybody.
Ooh, but we still have our job live and local.
At least the building is.
We've got your sports.
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com.
Welcome back to Red Card Radio. To reach out to Austin, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Here's Austin Robillard.
All right, so there was another Champions League game that took place. Manchester City took on Paris Saint-Germain in the other semifinal, and did not go the way I wanted it to. I was not in favor of Manchester City winning this game, especially in Paris, but they did. Ended up being 2-1, and it looked like, for a really long time, PSG were in control. They were really in control. And the first half was pretty darn good, if you ask me. And I can't imagine, they were feeling bad at halftime, right? I can't imagine that, Pochettino was doubting himself. But Manchester City turned it around in the second half fantastically. Marquinhos got the goal in the 15th minute to make this game 1-0, and that's when PSG really just were taking all the chances. They controlled possession in the first half. They were really all over the place. And then it kind of fell apart. And it fell apart at the worst times. At the absolute worst times. Kevin De Bruyne and Mahrez score goals very quickly in succession with each other. 64th and 71st minute. And then Idrissa Gana Gueye gets a red card in the 77th. I mean, a tough 13 minutes for PSG. And it's going to take a lot for this team to come back, to go into Manchester down 2-1, had given up 2 away goals. I mean, at the very least, PSG have to score twice. Man City scoring just 1 goal there would mean PSG have to score twice, obviously, just to take it into extra time. So that is something that is definitely concerning for this Pochettino side. And for them to come away with no major trophies this season, a la, just Ligue 1 and the Champions League, would be pretty bad. And you would have to question, bringing in Pochettino, who does not have, a reputation for winning trophies. You'd have to question it. Where do they go from there, right? You have the Mbappés. You have Neymar. You have to win something. And if right now I believe PSG are taking on Lens in a very close matchup that's actually now in the 84th minute. It looks like Lens should be winning this game. They're playing pretty good. They're getting shots. They're creating chances with only 38% possession. But they are down 2-1. They missed 2 really good chances in the first half. Neymar made them pay for it. And then Marquinhos actually scored right after that in the second half. And then Lens answered, but I don't think that they're going to be able to get this done. And when you look at the League One table, it puts a lot of pressure on Lille. But if PSG end up losing this League One title and losing to Manchester City in the Champions League, that's got to be a disappointment of a season. And maybe Pochettino wasn't the right man for the job. I think getting rid of Tuchel at that moment was the right move because of how poorly it was going for them. But they were still in the running for all these other competitions that now, towards the latter parts of them, you have a manager with no experience in winning these kinds of games. Pochettino could not do it against Liverpool. Not that anybody expected him to, but in that Champions League final, he couldn't do it. They'd never won, a League Cup or an FA Cup. Nothing. Pochettino had won nothing. Tuchel had done it before with PSG. Do you start to question that decision? Yes. But the league's not up, and this tie with Manchester City is not up. There's still chances for PSG to come out with 2 trophies compared to 0. If I were a betting man, I would say PSG come away with no trophies rather than 2. But they could potentially win the league if Lille end up, messing things up. They play Nice today at 3 o'clock. They've had some very close calls, Lille. And I mean very close. This game against Lyon that they had, that ended up winning 3-2, if it wasn't for this Yilmaz dude, this Turkish striker, my goodness, somehow is always just scoring at the right times. Jonathan David, the young Canadian, who I'm very high on, ended up scoring. But Yilmaz, man, scoring twice in this game against Lyon, 90th minute winner too, at 35 years old, that is something to just applaud. And I want Lille to win the league, obviously. 85th minute, not 90th. That was close, but it was right there. What a sensational goal, and it was a very enticing game. I'll say that. It was a game that was good. Obviously, anytime you see a 3-2 scoreline, it's really good. But with title hopes on the line, Lille found a way to get it done. I thought, if they were to tie that game, I think the title race is over for the most part. PSG would have to slip up pretty badly. But now Lille, they pulled it off and the fate's in their own hands, and it starts all over again with this game against Nice today. something to look for. It's probably the best title race in Europe right now. You know, it is. Definitely. In the top 5 leagues, other than maybe La Liga, because there's more than, 2 teams going for it. But even in La Liga now, there are 5. Atletico Madrid with a win against Elche today, which started off while we were, recording today. This 1-0 win was massive. Elche had a couple chances. Atletico definitely looked worried. I believe Elche missed a penalty in the last seconds of this game. I mean, Atletico are making it very, very hard on themselves, but they did pull out the victory. So Real Madrid, with a win against Osasuna today, would still put them 2 points behind with 4 games left. The same would be for Barcelona if they are to win their next game. And I don't think anybody should be ruling out Sevilla. Okay? If we're not going to rule out Real Madrid and Barcelona, who only have a 1-point lead on Sevilla, we should not rule out Sevilla, who are in sensational form. They have won their last 5 games. They haven't lost this month in April. And they haven't actually lost a game since Elche on March 6th. They have been really good. Then they play Athletic Club on Monday at 3 o'clock. And after that, well, a game that has a potential to be a title decider is Real Madrid and Sevilla on Sunday, May 9th at 3 o'clock. What more can you say? The title race is good, and it's not just Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid. Sevilla is right there. Barcelona still have to take on, I believe, they still take on Atletico Madrid that same weekend that Real Madrid take on Sevilla. So mark it down in your calendars, folks. Saturday, May 8th, Sunday, May 9th, 2 games to decide La Liga is going to be exciting. Barca also have to play Valencia. It was Granada, not Getafe. It was Granada that beat Barca just Thursday. That was a very sad loss, to say the least. A very, very sad loss. And you get for not starting Dest. I believe Coleman also got a red card, the manager, and he suspended for 2 games, meaning he would miss the Atletico game, which is not something you want your manager out for, to say the least. But those are really the only 2 title races in Europe going on right now that are close. Man City have definitely already won Premier League, but they can make it official tomorrow if Manchester United lose to Liverpool. And if that happens, I'll be very upset. It is at Old Trafford, which is good for United, even though they've been one of the best away teams in the world. Long unbeaten streak away from home. But man, so yeah, there's that in England, and then over in Germany, I mean, obviously Bayern are up there, but I want to look at the top 4 race and talk to you about what I believe could be very catastrophic for a couple of teams. Well, just one, really. I mean, 2. Dortmund are sitting out of a Champions League spot at the moment. They are in 5th place, and if they don't make it to the Champions League, they're in big trouble. Haaland will be gone. Reina should be gone. They would be in financial trouble, but they'd also be at risk of losing their locker room and the idea that, the players want to play for them. Why would you? And their next game coming up is not one to take lightly at all, because they'll be taking on Leipzig on May 8th. That's the next game. There's not many games left either. I believe there's only, if I am reading this correctly, and Bundesliga is only 18 teams, so there's 34 games. There's only 3 games left. There you go. Quick math. 3 games left to gain a point, or maybe even 2 against Wolfsburg and Frankfurt. Hopefully they mess up for them, but Frankfurt's been really good with Jovic coming back. Kostic out there. Leverkusen as well. I mean, they're not going to be able to get in there. They look like they're going to sit in 6th place and be a Europa League team, but that's a club too that needs something, and they did not perform at the level they should have. And then lastly, in Italy, the league that's making our friend Alex Stano very happy. It looks like Inter are winning the league. Oh, no, they are winning the league. They're going to win the league. And there is still massive potential for Juve to go out of the Champions League. Can you imagine Ronaldo not in the Champions League? AC Milan would have to jump them in the standings, but they have looked really bad recently after having 17 weeks in first place. So, I don't know. Interesting race over there in Italy. Onside Radio enters Kai's Corner with Kai Chen Chisholm every day from 10 a.m. to noon. Join Kai as he discusses the biggest stories in South Florida sports. Tune in every day, 10 a.m. to noon, for Kai's Corner on the home for South Florida Sports Talk. It's OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard. Take Onside Radio your home for sports talk everywhere with a MyTuner Radio app. Find the app at OnsideRadio.com. When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
AM 1260 WLEN.
We're live and local. Honey, are we really?
Just read what they wrote.
We're the best sports station for Miami.
What kind of programming genius does it take to flip a switch and put it on an ESPN satellite? We're your home for all local sports. AM 1260 WLE. Honey, would you please bring my laxative in here?
Sure, honey.
Ain't it awful? South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans! Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
When you're tired of watching the sun damage your furniture or raise your electric bill, it's time to do what we did here at OnsideRadio.com studio. Call A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise. A Shade Above Window Fashions has a great selection of blackout shades to choose from. We can almost create a complete blackout for your bedroom or media room. Call them at 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashion.
Hey, it's Big O. You know, air quality in your home or business is so important now, folks. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning. Let them install high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. M&S is always on call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. and, of course, emergency Sundays. Call for more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans. Visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So, for the finest German food and beer, get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welcome back to Red Card Radio. To reach out to Austin, send a text. The text line is 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Austin Robillard.
All right, we've got some cross-talk lined up with the two men who know the most in the business about the Miami Marlins. It's Deep Into the Count coming up here from 1 to 3 p.m. with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Guys, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I feel great. You know, Marlins are still in it. They're fighting in the National League East. People said it was one of the toughest divisions in baseball, and they're in the thick of things. You know, you asked me, 30 games in. I think something like that. Someone asked me 30 games into the season, the Marlins are going to